Hey everyone, it's Roberto, and welcome to another special Apple product video. So, today the new iMac 27-inch 5K resolution display version was unveiled today at the live Apple event, and I'm super excited about this, and this thing is going to be amazing. Now, the most important thing that you guys always want to know is the price, the release date, and the specs. So I'm going to hop right to it. The price for this thing starting out is going to be $24.99. That's for the base model, and I'll get into what that comes with later. If you want to max this thing out, that's going to be $4,399, and I'll cover a breakdown a little later of what that all entails. But this is a phenomenal machine. It's 5K resolution. That means you can edit if you're doing video editing like I do. You can do 4K video and then actually still have room for your video editing bins and your tools and all that stuff, so you can actually see live 4K resolution while you're editing. And with a secondary output, it's going to be able to basically do 4K to an external monitor. So that's just amazing. So when can you buy this? You can actually order this thing tomorrow, October 17th. So this is going to be available to order right away, and they'll be shipping next week or the week after. So that's huge that Apple's doing this and that we don't have to wait if we want to order new products. And that includes the iPad Air 2, the new Mac Mini, and the new iPad Mini. So that's just super, and I love that they're doing that. Now, this does not reduce the price of the other iMac models, but this kind of just falls in line as something that's being added to the iMac product line. And the cool thing for me about iMacs, and the reason I love mine, is I feel like these are the penultimate ideal of what Steve Jobs wanted in a Macintosh computer. He wanted an all-in-one comprehensive solution that you could work with. And that's why I feel the iMac is, and that's why I prefer it to the concept of the Mac Pro or even the customizable Mac Pro Towers from back in the day, even though I still have one. So that's why I like the iMac better. But moving on, let's go ahead and jump into the specs of this new iMac with 5K resolution. So right off the bat, let's pixel peep. 14.7 million pixels. That is insane. 5K resolution. That means 4K video editing while still having room left over. Tremendous. Processing power. So this thing is going to have 3.5 gigahertz processing power, boostable up to 3.9 with i5 processors at the base model. Now that is upgradable to an i7 that will be 4.0 gigahertz and boostable up to, I believe, 4.4. So that is super cool. That is amazing processing power. That is a monster, especially if you're doing 4K video editing. You need that kind of power. For the RAM, the base model is going to come with 8 gigs, which is the new standard for Apple, which I'm really excited about. I couldn't understand why 4 gigs held out as long as it did. So they're doing 8 gigs now, which is great, and it's upgradable up to 32 gigs. The base model is going to come with the 1 terabyte Fusion drive, but you can do flash storage for this, and they have a ton of configurations, including a 1 terabyte configuration for the flash storage. So on the high end, that's what you'd be getting, especially if you max that out. And depending on what you're working on, that might be the route you choose to go. The Fusion hard drives are still amazing and super fast, so don't count them out. They're still great, and if you want to go with that, the base model, and then manually upgrade to flash storage later or something like that, you could always do that. So for the graphics cards, I would say this is the biggest change in direction from Apple. Instead of NVIDIA graphics cards, they're going with AMD. We already know that they did this in the Mac Pro model, and they brought that over to the iMac as well. I think there's a strong possibility that they'll go in the direction of the AMD Radeon graphics processors for future products moving forward, as well as the onboard Intel Iris processors at the lower end. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know anything about what's going on with the relationship with NVIDIA, but I think that that may be a way of them keeping the price lower, and there may be some other reasons why they're doing that. So that's just something to consider. Now for those of you using Adobe After Effects and Adobe Premiere, don't worry, those AMD graphics cards are still OpenCL, I believe, and you can still take advantage of that. So I wouldn't worry too much. I will do some kind of follow-up video as I gather more information on that. So the base comes with the R9 MX290X model, and that's going to be a 2 gig video graphics card with DDR5 memory, and you're going to be able to double that if you want to max it out and go with the 4 gig, which is the R9 MX295X model, and that's going to cost you a pretty penny more, and I'll get into that when I talk about how you max out the computer. So in terms of the ports, we're going to get 4 USB 3.0 ports, so that's really cool. We're going to get 2 Thunderbolt ports. We're going to be getting gigabit Ethernet, the standard headphone jack, and an SDXC input slot, which means you can do extreme capacity SD cards. So for those of you doing photography and video on DSLR cameras like me, that's going to be really handy. We're also getting Bluetooth 4.0, dual speakers. There's high-end stereo quality like you would expect from Apple. I don't know if they're using Beats by Dre technology, but I would imagine that they are at this point. And we're also going to be getting standard Wi-Fi, so it can use G, B, and N as per usual. So let's talk a little bit about the maxed out version of this 27-inch monstrosity of an iMac. The maxed out version is going to be 4 gigahertz of processing power at quad-core i7. So that is just amazing, and it is boostable up to 4.4. With that, you'd be getting 32 gigs of RAM, a 1 terabyte flash storage for the hard drive, and the 4 gig version of the video card. So if you're going to be doing high-end video editing, if you're going to be doing 3D Studio Max stuff, and you want to do that as far as this computer and then do like a render farm or something like that for actually rendering your stuff, then this is the machine for you. If you're going to be doing video editing in general, this is going to be the machine for you. I would say that personally for me, I wouldn't necessarily prioritize the flash storage. If I did, I would do it at the lower end and then use external storage or RAID for all of my actual working files and things like that, and just keep the bare basics on the actual computer itself and get the lower end hard drive to save some money. And I would probably, if I'm going to max out anything, I'd max out the RAM. I probably, even though the processing power is important to video editing, I'd probably still feel like I could get away with the quad-core i5s in the base model and just, turbo boost it up. So I would go that route and I would just save a few bucks. So my version of this is probably going to come out to like $3 grand. I don't expect to get this at any time soon, personally, by the way, unless, I come into higher end clients or I was financing it. So, I mean, if I do, obviously I'll do videos and I'll show you guys that stuff. But don't expect me to be doing an unboxing of this particular machine anytime soon unless major life changes happen, or unless you guys decide to donate a crazy amount of money to Patreon to support the YouTube channel. But anyway, I just absolutely love this new iMac. And like I said, okay, so the base model is $2499. The maxed out model is $4,399. 5K display, 14.7 million pixels, tremendous. And it's just a powerhouse, and it's going to be able to be ordered as early as tomorrow, October 17th. So if you're going to be doing high-end 4K video editing, I highly encourage you to take a look at this product. Apple's not endorsing me and telling me to go out and do this and everything. I just did this on my own. I really would love to be able to get this computer, and if money was no object, this is what I would buy. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have questions about the new iMac, go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. Like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, share. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.